we're the National Coalition for the Homeless and some of our partners. We work in DC to make sure that we have resources around the country to make sure people get what they need to get out of homelessness. We are on what's called the National Power Tour, and we are traveling throughout the country to make sure that we can address the needs of people. We can listen to you, and we can hear what you need, and we can take that to the people making decisions in Washington so that we can end homelessness once and for all.
My name is Erica Wright, and I am the CEO and founder of You First Inc. I am familiar to be here today because we're out in the community serving those who need us the most. We usually come out on the second Saturday with hygiene love bags, love, food, and inspiration. It's been about 9 years now since I've been able to do this work God called me to do. I myself have been in the line. I myself have had to go to the local shelter to take a shower. Also, I have been a recipient of the voucher program, and I have been blessed to be able to do this work. When we talk about what can we do to help people in need, we can start all the way from the top to the middle to the bottom, but I believe it begins right here where we are today, having the conversation, speaking to one another, hearing the voices of the people that need us the most, and then being able to take it to our local leaders and praying that there is a future in the success of not just a conversation, but what we really would like to see. People should have the basic needs every day, all day. It should just not be for some. It should be for all. We have a lot of money that flow through these states and cities and even around the country, and no one in America should be homeless or without home, or without food, or just having the basic necessities of life. So I'm here today to take part in this so that my voice can be heard, that your voice can be heard, and I want you to know that we love you and we see you. That is most important, that we see you.
We are Muslims in the streets, and we have a program called Meals of Mercy. And we come through the city of Atlanta, Bankhead, downtown, West End, and we serve hot prepared food or cold lunch, depending on the weather, twice a month on Sundays at 2 o'clock. And we also do a mobile food pantry where we provide nutritious food and meals to our communities in Metro Atlanta, including DeKalb County and Fulton County. I came here 8 years ago and I ended up homeless with 2 kids. And I was treated like I was nothing. I was accused of things. I was made to feel worthless. Had defects all in my business. They ended up taking one of my children from me. Not my fault, but my son couldn't handle it. He became suicidal. And so, over the years, I kind of stepped back and I had to look and reevaluate my situation. This is not the end of your road. This is the beginning. 8 years ago, I came here and I was in hotels. I was in the car. We was in the shelters. And I felt hopeless. I felt like we had nothing. Where do we go? I lost my faith. But I called on God. And I'm a woman of faith. I called on God and I prayed and I begged and I still pray and I still beg. Even though I'm not on the streets, I can't give up my faith and stop where I started from.
I was homeless place to place, and Woodruff Park was one of my main stomping grounds. 2002, 2003, and I still come out and fellowship and volunteer, etc. Spend time with people here. And it's been a road. It hasn't been really easy because there's still that stigmatization. Hey, you were part of this community. During homelessness, I was separated from my kids. Now they're adults. I did lose several places to live and illegally evicted And police reports manipulated, and they act like you crazy and you need to be on some meds to deal with their problems, their situations that they cause and break you down. When the problem is the system, it's not. If they would just get rid of their problems and stop casting their problems on us, if they would just stay in their lane and do their job and stop trying to watch and prey on us and surveil us, have the police come around and see what we're doing, trying to find little bits and pieces and faults to try to trap us and lock us up. If you would just get the people off the street and put them into housing and let them get jobs, those that want to work, they will immediately try to set you up with some social security advisor and put you on SSI. Then they want to take away your SSI if you get a job. So is it still slavery? To me, it is some kind of new kind of slavery that they got going on. If you are homeless, you got to have a mental illness. It's two different things. Mental illness is mental illness and homelessness is homelessness, but they try to confuse them together. And everybody that's out on the streets does not have a mental illness, but they drive you into drinking, they drive you into some sort of illegal activities. Then you have more problems on top of problems. How can you pay rent? How can you get a job if they keep on locking you up in jail, keep traumatizing you? The system is just failing, and we need to get to a better world and beyond all of this, y'all. Thank you, y'all.
Thank you, Valerie.
First off, thank you for the opportunity to give me some time to speak. Once again, I'm Corey with the K. I've been out here for 5 years now. In fact, yesterday made 5 years on the dot. It's crazy. I didn't even think about that. I mean, everything started out okay when I first got out here, but then things took a turn a year later, and I was out here in the streets. And so I had to figure out what to do and how to do it. Didn't know what to do. I've never been in this situation before. And I've noticed a lot of the things that you guys speak about, how they treat you, how they look at you, the stigmatism that comes with homelessness, like you're garbage in the street. They can walk right by you and it doesn't even matter. They don't even treat you like a human being. You know, you feel like an animal. You feel like garbage. I've asked people for a bag of chips, not even money. Like, can you just buy me a bag of chips, please? And they, my bad, I'm sorry for existing. I'm sorry for needing help. I'm sorry for making the wrong mistakes and ending up where I am and just trying to do better. Even though they can't see that, and I don't blame them. But in the midst of me being out here, I've been out here with a lot of other people in my situation, and of course they get treated the same. But I've got a chance to hear their stories that I wouldn't have heard had I not been in this situation. Long story short, I'm not trying to drag it out, but I eventually made it. I'm no longer homeless, thank God. Holding down work for a few years now. I've been doing pretty good. And it's by the grace of God, of course. You know, God first and foremost.
Well, listen, they say that I talk too loud, and I'm very, very loud. But in this particular movement, we need to live out loud. We need to let them know that we're here. I have my cart somewhere, but if you see that cart over that Target cart, that's a Target. They think that anyone moving around the city in a cart is homeless. I have killed the word homeless. PLWPR, persons living without permanent residence, is a new paradigm that I want to do. We've been working here with the Housing Commission. They've looked on the policy side, so now they put a proposal to City Council to have an Office of Tenant Rights. We've had these in other cities for so long. Why is Atlanta so far behind? I think we still live in the people population of a plantation, but that's another story for another day. That policy work is good, but we need, we need actual places to live for people. Right. So it's our agenda with my ministry, Lazarus Lives, to actually start building places, outdoor oases, places where people can have decent living. But when I think about criminalization, I've had 5 encounters with MARTA just this past week because I have a cart. Now, I have lumbar stenosis with degenerative disc, so I need that cart to help me to move. It's actually helping me walk until I can get a roly-poly. Well, they said, you can't take the cart on the bus, but you can take the cart on the train. So I took the cart on the train. They said, no, you can't take the cart on the train. I said, Well, where's this policy? It's a MARTA policy. But the thing is, if it's not written, does it really exist? So that's why this movement is so important, to get the agenda written and into legislation to protect us. And the second piece of that is actually implementing it and having everyone know their rights. So thank you for giving me a moment to speak and pass along the work so this work can continue.
We are really hopeful that if we get enough people organized, we can end homelessness in this country. There does not have to be anybody sleeping in a park, on a bench, or on a sidewalk, because we live in the richest country in the history of the world. And back in 1776, we were given some promises. We were promised life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. I don't believe you can pursue happiness in the back of an automobile. I don't believe that you can pursue happiness when you're sleeping on a sidewalk in some of the richest places in the world. I don't believe that you can pursue happiness if your family puts you out because you tell them who you really are. You cannot pursue happiness if you're not allowed to have a home. Everybody should have a home in the United States of America. Just like in Finland, just like in Vienna, everybody should have a right to housing in this country, and everything starts from there. We often hear that people are homeless because of their own behavior, that homelessness is somehow equated with immorality. It is. I'm going to tell you, it is. But it's not the homeless people that's immoral. It's the people in the city hall. It's the people in the state house. The immorality is in the capital of the richest country in the history of the world. So what do we do about it? We have to stand up. So I want you to think back, if you're out here and you're homeless. I want you to think back to when you had dreams. And the way we get through this is each and every one of you has to start to remember those dreams and be reconnected to them. I was homeless myself. When I was a kid, I dreamed about being an actor and a speaker. I thought about having a ministry. And today I do all of that. I've been able to make movies. I've been able to be on TV. I've been able to share my ministry about ending homelessness. And that's because a guy came up to me one day and he said, Donald, and I hadn't heard my name in a very long time. And that's one of the things that happens when you're homeless. Nobody says your name. Nobody sees you. They see around you. They see through you. You are invisible. But that day he saw me and he remembered my name and he said, Donald, I'm glad you're here. And that made me believe that I could change. It made me believe that although I had been out here for a long time and I had succumbed to active addiction, that my dream was still real. And the wonderful poet Langston Hughes asked us the question, what happens to a dream deferred? And I don't know if this is the right answer, but this is what I believe. What happens to a dream deferred is that it hangs around. Sometimes it's in beautiful places, sometimes it's in beautiful people, but if we continue to search for it, we will be reconnected with those dreams. We can end homelessness in America. We have enough money for each and every person who is living on the streets, who's living in the back of an automobile, who's living doubled up with a family member where they have to be quiet and invisible so they don't get put out. We can change that. We have the power, but the power exists within you. We have to come together. William talked about collaborating, bringing ourselves together, organizing, because that's how we got change. That's how we got voting rights and civil rights and Brown versus the Board of Education. That didn't happen with single people. It happened with people coming together. That's how we ended slavery in this country. And now we have a modern day form of slavery. It's called homelessness. And we can end that too if we all come together. So please join me in coming together to bring America home. Can you all say that for me one time? Bring America home. Bring America home. Bring America home. Bring America home. I want you to believe that. I want you to not just say it. I want you to embrace it, become a part of it. Help us bring America home. Thank you.
Thank you.